We all know someone who talks endlessly about the massive life changes they're going to make. They can map out their future businesses and perfect lives in granular detail, but month after month, their actual circumstances never budge. The easiest conclusion is to write them off as unmotivated, to assume they simply lack the discipline to do the work. Psychology suggests a different reality. These individuals aren't necessarily choosing to be stagnant. They are experiencing a biological response that mimics the feeling of progress without any of the actual labor. It starts with the strength of their imagination. When a person vividly pictures themselves succeeding, they construct a mental scenario so realistic that the subconscious mind struggles to tell the difference between the fantasy and the reality. When an imagined goal feeds the brain's reward center, it triggers a spike in satisfaction markers identical to genuine achievement. As these peak, the biological urgency to act drops to zero. The brain feels satisfied because it believes the work is already finished. These individuals are caught in a loop where the act of thinking becomes the reward, effectively neutralizing the drive to make actual progress. Eventually, that initial chemical high fades. The euphoria of the idea wears off, and reality demands physical effort to move forward. This is when the brain deploys a defense mechanism, masking a deep-seated fear of failure as a commitment to diligent preparation. An unexecuted idea is safe. As long as the dream stays inside the mind, it remains flawless, immune to criticism, setbacks, or objective failure. To protect that image, the mind convinces the visionary that they cannot start yet. It tells them they need to read one more book, build one more spreadsheet, or wait for the perfect, frictionless moment to begin. This graphic breaks down the fallacy of that the way. And the left is the assumption that waiting leads to feeling ready, which leads to action, a cycle but hits a dead end. On the right is the reality. Taking action generates the experience that eventually creates the feeling of readiness. The mind uses perpetual preparation to keep the dream unblemished, shielding it from the messy reality of a real-world attempt. Remaining trapped in that planning phase indefinitely takes a heavy physiological toll. The mind begins analyzing every possible step and multiplying obstacles without the person ever taking a single physical step forward. Running these complex mental simulations drains the brain's energy reserves just as surely as manual labor would. By the time the perfect moment arrives, the individual is often too exhausted to actually start. Their total inaction doesn't signal a lack of caring. It suggests they have spent all their available energy fighting phantom scenarios in their own mind. There is a deeper layer to this stall, rooted in a conflict of identity. Friction occurs between the person they imagine themselves to be, the visionary, and the person they actually are. A person might dream of massive success, while secretly harboring the belief that they are fundamentally undisciplined or incapable of finishing what they start. The brain resists physical actions that contradict a person's core self-image. When a goal requires a person to act like someone they don't believe they are, the mind creates a friction that blocks the necessary movement. Taking real action requires the ego to accept the death of an old identity, a terrifying prospect that the mind naturally fights. Grand ambitions are functionally useless if they are built on top of an unaddressed, incompatible self-image. Left unchecked, the stalled dreamer reaches a terminal state. They become addicted to potential itself. Potential feels safe and limitless. Actual progress is slow, uncomfortable, and repetitive. Faced with that contrast, the dreamer chooses the warm illusion of who they could be over the unpolished reality of who they are right now. Having big dreams is a common trait. The ability to manifest them is rare. The brain will always prefer the safety of potential. It will never provide the feeling of being completely ready. The only way to turn a dream into reality is to bypass the mind's trickery and force physical action, especially when the brain is telling you to wait.